Hello, welcome back again to Success Mandra. And today I want to continue talking to you about the family. Last time I was talking to you about developing a good character. Everything rise and fall on a good character. You can never build a good family without having a good character. Your family is like a factory. It's like the powerhouse. If you have a good family, it builds so much of power in you. Wherever you go, you become successful. Your home should be a place of refreshment, a place of encouragement, a place where you can relax, enjoy, refresh, and recharge again. That's what the home is all about. If people have good home, they enjoy life. I'm not talking about the building, good family. People have a good ambience in the home, like loving atmosphere. So, today I want to talk to you about love. Last time we spoke about the character. Today I want to talk to you about the love. That's the second ingredient for a good family life. Everything built on love will last. Love never fails. Everything else fails. Your color of your skin fails. Your beauty fails. Your wealth fails. Your house may fall. And your friends may fail. But the love never fails. Now, love is a hallmark of a good family life, and it's a foundation for a godly, good family life. Now, it's worth for you to check whether you are really a good, loving person or not. There is a tremendous hunger in all of us, want to be loved and want to love somebody. We want to love someone, and we also want to be loved. When there is an absence of love, it creates hatredness. The world suffers a lot from hatredness. So, when there is love, the hatredness will disappear. We need to fill our heart and our life with the love rather than any kind of hate or hatredness. So, how do we know that you have a good love for one another? Simple. The number one is communication. Are you being able to communicate with one another? Do you enjoy talking together? Are you able to open up to each other about the deep and embarrassing things in your life? So the first thing is communication. What is communication? Communication is not going on talking. Sometimes you can talk to people for a long time, still you haven't communicated what you want to really do. Communication is much more than words. Communication is relating your heart feeling into another person through the medium of words. I had gone to places to talk to people certain things, to communicate. I spent 1 hour talking, I still didn't communicate what I wanted to say. There are times I want to talk to my wife about certain issues. Talk. We never came to what we wanted to talk because we are so nervous of how it's going to affect one another. So communication is much more than just words. It's expression of thoughts in a creative way to one another. And it's not just talking. How do I know whether I have a good communication with my family? Simple. Do I enjoy talking to my family without getting emotional? Do I enjoy talking to them? Do I enjoy talking to my children? Even the most embarrassing things in our life. I had seen some parents, they're talking to their children, you should be good, don't do this, don't do that, who is this, study well, how you studied, how you taken the notes. I was making this mistake. And one stage my son, I was going to talk to him, he said, Dad, I know what you're going to say. Have you studied? Do you had bath? Do you clean your teeth? Do you prayed? He said, I heard every day. So when he said that, it really made me to think. I said, I must find a creative way of communicating. Communication is relating our heart to one another. So how do you know whether you really love your family or not? Simple. Do you enjoy their company? Do you enjoy talking to them? Some men come from work home, they don't talk anything. They just come, sit in front of a television, or sit with a newspaper, or sit with a cup of tea. Some women talk to their husband only arguing and nagging, never communicate. Even if she wants to say something, she will not say it, she will make it as an accusation. So if you really love each other, you enjoy communicating one another. I encourage couples to have a winding down time every day. After the dinner, when children go to sleep, make a cup of coffee, sit and at least for half an hour, have a talk. Don't talk any issues in the night before you go to sleep. Talk about various things. Gossip about somebody. Or talk about stars, moon, football, cricket, film stars. Talk about things that you're not, or talk about your business. There is a need of communications being built. If there is love, there is communication. You see lots of men after the work go to the bar and sit there till 9:30, 10 o'clock and come home, have dinner and go to sleep. Next day morning, get up again, go to work. You know why? You are not encouraging him to have a communication. There are two reasons why you do. One is he may be very insecure. Two, you've been a nagging woman. When your husband comes home, make him feel happy. When you come back from the workplace, make it look like you are waiting for him such a long time. Welcome him with a cup of coffee or tea. Look at his face and say, you look so tired. You must have had a hectic day. Or find something to compliment. You husband, when you come home your work, learn to say something appreciating your wife. You went out, you worked hard, you had all these friends, laugh, talk, handling issues, handling crisis. You enjoy that. She is here in the home, washing the same plates, cooking the same food, being in the same kitchen. She can be a bit frustrated and bored. Say some encouraging words. As you walk into home, you might have had a very difficult day in the office and you're upset, maybe crisis in your office work. Leave them all back in the office. When you come home, every day when you walk home, have some encouraging words to say to your wife. I must admit, I don't do all the time. I'm struggling with it because sometimes your work really gets into your brain and your nerves and you forget everything. But I'm trying to remind myself. When you come home, find something good to say about your wife. Make her feel happy. And come home, make it a point that you talk to your children every day. I know, sometimes you may say that what to say. You must find something to say. If your son likes cricket, talk to him about cricket. If your daughter likes music, talk to her about music. Find some topic to talk to them. Communication is vital for a family life. If there is no communication, your family life will fail. Some men live together not because they love each other or they communicate just for the sake of children. Some women lose interest in sex. They develop frigidity and they will focus only on children. Lady, I want to tell you, your husband came first, then the children. Every man should treat his wife as the most important person in his life. Every woman must treat her husband as the most important person in her life. It doesn't matter how he looks like. He may not look like Shah Rukh Khan because he can't get 6 hours to go to gym every day to practice. He may not look like Aishwarya Rai, definitely, because she don't do anything. She only do makeup. But your wife has to work in the kitchen. Her hands may be a little rough. Her face may be dull. But she is the lover of your heart. Nobody should be more important. So, your love can be measured by your communication with one another. Do you enjoy communicating with one another? Do you enjoy being together, talking? Can you discuss with your partner or your children disturbing aspects of life? Disagreements? Some people don't talk about the issues of life. They are saying that if I talk that issue, he will get angry or she will get angry. It's better I don't talk. No. There is a song says, You got to face the music someday. Why don't you face it now? Every unspoken issues or problems are a monster who lives in you. When you don't talk, you think about it, and you're feeding the monster, and monster is going to become big. Some people have too many monsters in their life, that's why they look like a monster. Some people have too many monsters controlling their mind, that's why they talk like monsters. Kick every monster out. Whatever issues that you have in your marriage or your family life, learn to discuss about it. You may say to your wife and she get angry and furious, say it again. You may say to your husband and he get angry, he may not come home, doesn't matter, say it again. But always say it in an atmosphere of love. Say it with the one intention in your mind that you want to reconcile and you want to change the situation. You talk issues not to prove to your partner that he has been wrong and you are right. You talk issues to say to your partner, probably I might have been wrong and we need to find a way how we can sort this out. We need to sort this out. You know, unspoken issues build stress, and the stress will shorten your lifespan. Stress can create heart attack, nervous breakdown. Stress can create lots of psychosomatic sickness on your body. Stress is very, very bad. So every situation, you must learn to communicate. What is the communication? Communication is relating the heart to one another. You got to learn to enjoy talking to one another. You learn to open up to each other, even the most embarrassing situation. That's called communication. The second is strength. Does your family builds you up or weakens you up? Now, as a husband and wife, you got to produce strength for one another. A loving wife will build strength in husband. A loving husband will build strength in his wife. When you have a healthy communication, it builds strength. So, your marriage, your family life, is it strengthening you or is it weakening you? That shows your family is good or bad. That shows where communication is effective or not. The third thing is that respect. If you want to build a good family, you need to learn to respect one another. Are you proud of your family, your wife, your children, or your husband in all situations? Or you feel embarrassed? Or do you feel embarrassed because of their presence? I had seen some men, they never take their wife with them because they feel embarrassed the way she behaves or her looks. I feel some parents don't like to take their children with them because their children don't look nice. So they treat children as a nuisance. Remember, if you treat your children as a nuisance, the days are not very far, your children also will treat you as a nuisance. Are you proud of your family? That shows whether you respect your family or not. Remember, the best person that you can ever have is what's given to you, that's your wife or your husband. You cannot have anybody better than that. You should learn to be proud of their presence with you. There are some children say to their parent, I don't want you to come to my school. I don't want my friends to see you. Sometimes they don't realize how much their parent work hard to earn the money and send them to good school. I've seen some children who go to a good school, they feel embarrassed by their parents' presence. Parent, I want to give you a piece of advice. Don't try to build your child more than what you are around. You can give them expectation, you can build them up, but don't buy them fancy clothes. Don't send them fancy schools which you can't afford. If you have enough money, you can do it. Don't say that I want to bring up my children without them going through the pain that I went through. You will be making a big mistake. Teach your child to understand the pain and the difficulty. Let your child knows how difficult to get the money. Let your child knows how much you work hard to earn this money. Don't bring up children without exposing them to poverty or danger. Expose your children to poverty. Expose your children to monitored danger so that they will know the value of the money that you spend. So, we need to learn to respect one another. A husband must learn to love his wife and enjoy her company irrespective of her look. Your wife may be very fat. Thank God for that. Who fed her? You fed her. Your husband may be losing the hair. Doesn't matter. You can't change him. Learn to be proud of the presence of your partner. That shows respect. When I respect a person, I enjoy the company of that person. The fourth is habits. Are there any habits you have that irritates your partner? Or do you like your partner despite of the shortcomings or weakness? Sometimes our habits can drive our partner mad. If there is a habit you have which is making your family irritated with you, you must put all your effort to change that habit. You want to maintain your habit and expecting other people to love you may not be practical. In a family life, all the habits every member of the family has should be complementing for one another, should not be a disturbing factor for other family members. It creates a huge problem. As a bachelor, you might have had many habits. As a spinster, you might have many habits, but that cannot be practiced. Some people say, my father was like that, my grandfather was like that. I can't change. I must tell you, my friend, you can change. Your father and your grandfather went everywhere walking. They were wearing a piece of clothes instead of trouser and shirt like you wear. Why you are wearing trouser and shirt? Your grandfather, your father did not travel far distance. Why do you travel? Your grandfather and father did not live in the fancy kind of houses you live. So why you want to live? So that's not correct. Every generation and every century has certain kind of life situation and lifestyle which has to be changed. You cannot say, my father was a short temper, I got to be short temper. My father had a habit of getting angry. Then you go and live with your mother. Don't live with your wife. You're not marrying your mother. You're marrying a new woman. So if your father's anger must have been tolerated by your mother, that doesn't mean your wife has to tolerate your anger. Every habit a human has can be changed. There are certain weaknesses you cannot change, but you can modify them. Even still there is a problem, learn to discuss with your partner, your family members, come to an understanding about it. But you have to give up your selfish habits if you want a good family life. Without you giving up, you can never go up. So habits has to be changed. The next is reconciliation. In marriage, in family, there will be always arguments. In case if you say that we have no arguments, I must tell you one of you is a slave or one of you is a monster controlling every other person. Where there is freedom, there is argument, there is disagreement. Now, when it comes to disagreement, how quickly you can reconcile after disagreement shows whether there is a real love in your family life or not. When a good family life is there, you learn to laugh at your disagreement. You learn to discuss about your disagreement. You can reconcile to one another. We all disagree, but we should not brood over your disagreement. We have to learn to come to a stage that we can reconcile. Some of the things you cannot change in your partner, and you can tell your partner, I know I can't change you, but I accept you as you are. Some of the things you cannot change yourself, you share with your partner, I want to change, but I don't know how. I have not been able to change. Will you bear with me? When a wife says to your husband, I have a nagging nature. I want to change, but I'm not been able to change. Will you bear with me, my darling? Will you help me to change? That makes man feel like a king. He will tolerate you any amount. So there should be a place of reconciliation. Now, how do you know whether you love each other or not in a time of separation? When you are happy, are you happy being away from one another? Or are you happy when you're together? A good family life, the man and woman, soon after the work, they will run back home. Now, here one more point. The television is the biggest enemy of your family. Don't have the television in your bedroom. Don't have a television in your dining table. Put the television away in a small room somewhere. I had seen certain family, they all are eating, but their eyes are on television. Some family, the man and wife come home from the work or wherever they are, husband will watch the news and the wife will watch the serial. They go tired home, not spending time at all together. They listen to all these silly soap operas and these movies. Everything is vanity and imaginary. You look into it and you think about it and you see it and you are looking at each other and say, why you are not like that? Why you are not being romantic like that? Why you are not so beautiful? You look at all these cute cut babes who comes in the television channel, all these girls, and you look at your wives and my wife is not looking attractive like that. She won't, because she gave birth to your children and she'll live with you. Whatever she is, you made her. These are enemies. So, when did you feel happy? When you're together or when you're separated? That shows whether there is love in your heart for one another or not. Or giving. Do you enjoy giving in or you sit there with the demanding? When you come to marriage, sex play a vital role in your married life. A happy sex life of parents will give a healthy instruction for children about the sex life. A child who grew up in a home where there is husband and wife, father and mother have a healthy sex life, that child will have a proper understanding of sex and love and affair as she grows into teenage. When it comes to sex, or whenever you get into act of sex as a man and wife, you should always focus on the satisfaction of your partner than your satisfaction. Don't do an act of sex only to gratify your lustful desire. Sex is a divine love. Sex is divine. It is meant only in the marriage, not out of the marriage. And it's a major source of happiness in a family life. Always, 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 always remember, you get into an act of sex to satisfy your partner. Don't look at your partner as a pleasure-giving commodity. He is not, and neither she is not. Don't look at all the television programs and the movies and imagine that is sex. That is not. That is a commercialized sex. It's not real. So, a good family is built on love. How do you know whether you love each other? Number one, when there is love, there is good communication. Can you talk to one another freely? Different kind of situation, atmosphere, without getting into argument. Can you talk to one another most deep, embarrassing situation in your life? Second, do you find strength in one another? Do you find strength from your children? Children, do you find strength in your parents? Mother, do you find strength in your husband? Husband, do you find strength in your wife? If not, sit, think, read, learn, make a change. The third, learn to respect one another. Enjoy the company of one another. Don't be embarrassed to say who is your father or who is your mother or who are your children. Whoever they are, be proud of them and cut off all the selfish habits. Develop new family habits. Learn to reconcile quickly after a disagreement. It is quite common and obvious you are going to have disagreement with one another. Disagreement is something common that happens because you're free. As I told you earlier, in a family life where one is like a monster over everybody else, there is no disagreement. It's not because they don't disagree just because they don't have a freedom of expression. It's a kind of slavery situation. No marriage should build a slave situation. Marriage is an agreement, it's a mutual agreement of two people to live together to bring a generation. It is only a mutual agreement. It's not slavery, it's not suppression. Woman is no way lower than man. Man and woman are equal. In the marriage, for the sake of discipline, man is the head of the family. I want to tell you, all the women who listen to me, you have nothing lower than a man. You are equal to a man in everything. Everything that man can do, you also can do. Don't feel low about yourself. Build a self-dignity. Learn to reconcile after an agreement, after a disagreement. Separation. When you are away from one another, do you enjoy, or when you are together, do you enjoy? That shows whether you really love each other or not. Or do you have attraction for one another? No matter how old you become, you still got to stay attracted to one another. Women, the wives, learn to dress up for your husband. The most important time of dressing up is when you go to your bedroom. When you go out, you dress up for the public. You're dressing up for the people whom you don't like, to make them to talk about you. But when you go to your bedroom in the night, you dress up for someone who loves you the most. That's your husband. So dress up well. Remain attractive to one another. If you are becoming fat, go to a gym or go for a walk, exercise. Build your body. When you go to your bed, have a good bath. Make sure you wash your body. Let there be no smelling aspect in your divine communion. Remain attractive to one another. So, in order to build a healthy family life, love is the hallmark and the foundation. How do you know you love one another? When you love one another, you enjoy talking to one another, you communicate one another, you draw strength from one another, you have respect for one another, and you will give up your old habits and you will develop common habits that you all will enjoy with one another. And after disagreements, learn to reconcile quickly. Don't leave a trail of conversation. Don't carry on with the bitterness. Don't carry any hurt with one another. Talk about it. No matter how angry your partner gets, still talk about it, because that builds oneness. And have a giving attitude. All that you have, learn to give for your family and your partner. Don't work hard to save for yourself. Work hard to save for your family. Don't work hard to enjoy. Work hard to give enjoyment for your family. Happiness is something happens to you while you're busy in making others' life easy. When you work for others, that's the time you get the happiness. And remain attractive to one another. Children, remain attractive. Wife, remain attractive to the husband. Husband, remain attractive to one another. Love is the foundation of the marriage. Where there is a good love, there is strong family. Those family children will not fall into all this so-called puppy loves and teenage love. Those children will never run away from the house. Those children will never say yes to a man or girl or boy without the consent of their parents. I wish you all the best. I pray that God will help you to build a good, godly family life where each one enjoy the company of one another. All the best. See you again.